She gave the Price is Right crowd a little extra. Since the time The Price is Right was released in 1972, it's become very popular and among the most loved game shows in TV history. It's operated for over 4 decades. The two hosts, Bob Barker and Drew Carey, have come across the craziest moments ever to be seen on television, from fainting to Snoop Dogg and many others. So which are the craziest moments that have been experienced in the history of The Price is Right? Danielle Atkin wardrobe malfunction. A red-faced wardrobe malfunction was experienced by a model and a TV host live on television. Nipples spilled out of model Danielle Atkin's low-cut top when she was hosting the Australian edition of The Price is Right. She extends her arms to presenter Larry Edmer as the people cheer behind her. She smiled brightly, but her attractive red dress couldn't conceal her big assets. Danielle and the applauding masses behind her didn't appear to notice the issue. However, an observer with keen eyes showed the video to capture the embarrassing moment. Snoop Dogg encounter. Snoop Dogg, a prominent musician, made an appearance in one of the most memorable moments in Price is Right history. Snoop began by playing the game himself. He demonstrated his exceptional Plinko skills by earning $72,585 for the Snoop Youth Football League. Snoop stayed around after his turn to make announcements and award prizes. After the performance, he talked about how much he loved the show as a kid. Manuela Arbolez giving away a car. Price is Right model in 2015 after unintentionally giving away a vehicle. Manuela Arbolez and the whole incident went viral on every platform. According to NBC, contestant Andrea had 3 chances to correctly predict the cost of a brand new Hyundai Sonata SE out of 5 price tags displayed on the big board. Arbolez then proceeded to randomly draw back another tag, which turned out to be the winning one, after she had pulled back one to show that the initial guess was incorrect. As soon as the participant claimed the car, Arbolez recognized her error and retreated. Arbolez and the host, Drew Carey, afterward contended that it was a simple error and made fun of the situation. Wrong timing. Patricia Bernard did not answer when Bob Barker invited her to come on down and compete. A family member reluctantly informed Barker that she was preoccupied after receiving multiple calls from him. The host asked, "This absolutely had to occur, didn't it?" Patricia's in the room with the small girls. How long would people wait for Patricia? Is the question everyone in America is asking as a man who I suppose has to be her husband searches for her. Aaron Paul appearance. You might recognize Aaron Paul if you're a Breaking Bad fan. Aaron Paul participated in The Price is Right as a contestant. When he was finally asked to appear on stage, his wish came true and he had come quite near to the cost of a desk. Aaron said he consumed 6 bottles of Red Bull before the taping and was thrilled in an interview with Jay Leno some years later. He passed the preliminary round and went on to the Showcase Showdown round of the competition. Unfortunately, he slightly overbid the package's cost by only $130. The Mustang crash. To showcase the potential reward, model Rachel Reynolds was scheduled to drive a Ford Mustang onto the show's set. She mistakenly believed the clutch to be the brake, causing her to crash into the set and damage the vehicle. "I wasn't even aware the vehicle had a stick shift," she later admitted. It was hilarious. The perfect prediction. Terry Neese, a former weatherman, completely dominated The Price is Right in 2010. The contestant, Neese, then properly predicted the value of every award in the Showcase Showdown in the late 50s, down to the last cent. Producers, viewers, and even presenter Drew Carey suspected Neese was in some way deceiving them. The reality, though, was much less sinister. Neese was a real study. It was revealed that the show frequently combined the same prizes in different ways. Neese spent months carefully studying the series and learning every price. Honestly, he was great, and every prediction Neese made was carefully studied before he came to the conclusion that it was the prize. The introduction of the three-way tie. On Monday's edition of Price is Right, 3 competitors made history by spinning various $1 wager combinations on the show's colorful wheel. In a couple of spins in one of the show's feature matchups, the 3 competitors each hit on spots totaling $1. The game show is known for giving players a $1,000 prize and another chance to spin if they reach $1 on the spinning without going over. Catherine was the first and liveliest contestant to spin, followed by Manfred and Jessica. Although more excited than normal, all three sprang up and hugged one another in the trademark Price is Right style. The competitors reached the first three-way dollar tie in the game show's history, and host Drew Carey celebrated by pumping his fist in the air. Prior to the victory being officially recognized as one for the record books, Carey remarked, "I don't know whether that's ever happened." In previous cases of such a tie, at least a single competitor touched down precisely on the prized $1 position of the wheel, but following the extra spins, Manfred emerged as the winner. He won a car and a cruise after achieving the highest spin result. Now in its 45th season is the enduring CBS game show. $1 million win in 8 seconds. In The Price is Right's 50-year history, only 3 candidates have ever won $1 million. Furthermore, the previous performer made it seem so simple that the jackpot has yet to be presented since. The enormous cash award was given out during a primetime television event called $1 Million Spectacular, which infrequently ran between 2003 and 2008. Players could win more money when playing the game during the episodes because of adjustments to the rules. But during the course of the centuries, such regulations frequently changed. The show offered a few strategies to make the clock game more thrilling during the $1 Million Spectacular. According to Carey, the player would receive an additional $5,000 for claiming both rewards within the stipulated period. The prize, an uncommon million, would be theirs if they could accomplish it in only 10 seconds. The host also mentioned that although nobody had correctly predicted the pricing with $1 million on the line, they had done it in earlier episodes. Therefore, even though it would be tough to do, it was still doable. As the timer started, Azevedo correctly identified the cost of the first reward, an $899 love seat. She gained an additional 9 seconds because she promptly nailed the correct number. Cynthia Azevedo ended up winning $1,089,017 in cash and awards in total, and Paramount gave some publicity to the achievement. According to a press statement from the network, Adam Rose of Los Osos, California, became the first Price is Right millionaire on February 22nd. The second was Las Vegas resident Michael Haynes, who won on March 7th. Suddenly, the $1 Million Spectacular vanished mysteriously after Azevedo collected her prize. And while we can't argue that she spoiled it for the rest of us, we can speculate that paying out $3 million in just 2 months may have come as increased cost for the series since nobody won the prize during the first 2 months. The Plinko Master. In the show's most well-known game, Ryan Belts of Millerton, Pennsylvania, topped the previous high score of $30,500 by winning a whopping $31,500. He received 5 Plinko chips after sprinting up to host Drew Carey and exclaiming, "Oh my God, is it real?" He won $10,000 on the first drop, followed by $1,000, $10,000 more, $500, and then in one of the most amazing displays of skill or luck ever, closed out with another $10,000. Carey screamed, "This is what you term as Plinko win right there," after Belts won. The Dance. Brian, one of the competitors, made the decision to spin the wheel in a unique way. He mounted it by leaping upon it and pulling so hard that he fell to the floor on his back. He then started to pose before the wheel and prod it with his arms like a vocalist at a rock performance. Henry falls on stage. Henry entered the Price is Right stage after being called up and won the one bird round. He then fell forward, landing on his knees, leading one of his teeth to fly loose. The man quickly exclaimed, laughing, "My tooth came out," before giving Drew Carey a big kiss on the cheek. Carey jokingly said, "That's not the first toothless person who's ever kissed me." Woman failing to find the Price is Right exit. In a February 2022 edition of The Price is Right, when mother of 2, Carrie Kinder, was fighting for the chance to win $8,000 on a brand new vehicle, a humorous situation occurred. Kinder was expected to leave the stage to the left and go off camera after winning the big wheel round, as is customary. However, she was unable to locate the exit for some reason. After videos of her mistake went viral, Kinder told Inside Edition, "Getting lost on The Price is Right. While the cameras were still rolling, the poor mother made numerous attempts to locate the designated exit, even making her way to the rear of the platform and taking a look around. I'm just trying to get the hell off the platform, thinking I just lost $8,000 in a brand new vehicle," Kinder recounted. The poor producer yells at me from behind the stage, this way, no, that way, no, this way." Despite the embarrassing nature of the situation, the majority of viewers and users on social media empathize with Kinder. The treadmill fall. For this reason, announcers ought to be heard rather than seen. George Gray, the Speaker of The Price is Right, demonstrated how difficult it was to walk while talking when he slipped off the treadmill and hit his butt. You have to admire the guy for finishing the remaining lines while seated on the ground. Collapsing on stage. Fernando, come over to the Price is Right stage floor. Fernando, a Price is Right participant who came close to winning the big wheel round of the episode but fell short, had a crash course in gravitation on Wednesday's edition of the game show. Fernando walked onto the stage with a flip and a kick, and things looked so good. They became even more encouraging when he won 95 cents on the wheel, coming within a hair's breadth of a perfect score of $1. Regrettably, the following player to spin the wheel had a fortunate spin and won $1, which rendered Fernando helpless and on the ground. Yolanda's tube top. Although there are many Price is Right wardrobe mishap videos on YouTube, this one stands out. Sadly, Yolanda threw her hands up and her tube top flew in the opposite direction when she was urged to come on down, as the following contestant on The Price is Right. Please use this as a lesson for future female candidates on the show. Save the tube top for future use, or spend money on high-quality double-sided tape. The opposite spin. The Price is Right wheel must be spun clockwise, as anyone who's watched someone else spin it knows, except for this woman who claims to have simply wanted to be different to a puzzled Bob Barker. But because there are regulations, Barker made her repeat the spinning the right way. The woman simply wanted to do things her way, probably thinking that she might be lucky that way. However, there were better ways to do things in The Price is Right. She later spun it clockwise instead of the counterclockwise way she was doing.